चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे 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 चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे
Welcome all. We still have a few people that are coming in, Maybe you can continue to admit them, Vladimir. And in the meantime, we are so happy to have you all here and see many of you that we haven't seen for a long time. So, namaste and certainly welcome on behalf of LaGrasse Sri Aurobindo Integral Life Center here in Fountain Inn, South Carolina. We certainly welcome you all to today's very special gathering, which is in honor and celebration of three important anniversaries. We have the mother's 146th birth anniversary, which was last Wednesday, February 21st. Auroville's 56th birth anniversary, which is this coming Wednesday. And of course, the golden day of supramental manifestation that took place on February 29th, 1956, and whose anniversary happens only every 4 years, making this leap year its 17th anniversary on Thursday. And we will be celebrating all three throughout today's Darshan. So participating in today's gathering from the LaGrasse Center is Madhu Vivek, Jayashri Blanche, Sailaja Akela, Geeta Shri Vij, Vladimir, and myself, Radhe. Towards the end of the Darshan gathering, there'll be time for participants to make an offering in the form of a quote or a short story or a personal commentary. And if you'd like to make an offering at that time, just indicate in the chat box over the next hour or so that you would like to, and we'll just ask that your offerings be kept to a minute or two so that others have a chance to share. So before we officially open this joyous occasion, we'd like to announce our 4-day Sri Aurobindo Integral Yoga Retreat that will be hosted here in Greenville, South Carolina from Wednesday, July 3rd to Sunday, July 7th. Guest speakers will include Amita Mehra, who will be coming from India here from the Gnostic Center, Dr. Lok Pandey from the ashram, Dr. Vasant Lad from the Ayurvedic Institute, and others. So in a few minutes, I'll be putting the LaGrasse website URL in the chat box where you can find more information on the retreat, but we certainly hope to see you all this summer. So let us now open the gathering with the Darshan message from the mother's birth anniversary, read by Madhu, followed with mantra by Vladimir, and the reading of a Savitri passage by Jayashri. If everyone could just kindly keep their microphones muted until the sharing period, we'd appreciate it. So with that, Madhu, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Radhe. 21st February 2024. So long as you do not have the power to change the world, it is useless to say that the world is wrong. And if you abolish in yourself the things that are wrong in the world, you will see that the world will not longer be wrong. The Mother.
ॐ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शान्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ नमो नमः श्रीमीराम्बिकायै ॐ नमो भगवते श्री अरविन्दाय ॐ नमो नमः Shri Mirambekayai Shri Aravinda Sharanam Mama.
You're muted, Jayatri.
Namaste and greetings to all on the celebration of this great divine event of Mother's birthday, the supramental descent, and the birthday of Auroville. On this great occasion, I am offering at their lotus feet a few readings from Savitri. Some passages that I have selected, I will give you the references and then read them out to you. Let us get into the spirit of Savitri. In Book 3, Canto 3, The House of the Spirit and the New Creation, King Ashwapati has the experience of the supramental consciousness. This is a reading from page 322. Then suddenly there came a downward look, as if a sea exploring its own depths, a living oneness widened at the core and joined him to unnumbered multitudes. A bliss, a light, a power, a flame white love caught all into a soul immense embrace. Existence found its truth on oneness's breast, and each became the self and space of all. The great world rhythms were heartbeats of one soul. To feel was a flame discovery of God. All mind was a single harp of many strings. All life a song of many meeting lives. For worlds were many, but the self was one. This knowledge now was made a cosmos's seed. This seed was cased in the safety of the light. It needed not a sheath of ignorance. Then, from the trance of that tremendous clasp, and from the throbbings of that single heart, and from the naked spirit's victory, a new and marvelous creation rose. Incalculable, outflowing infinitudes, laughing out an unmeasured happiness, lived their innumerable unity. Worlds where the being is unbound and wide, bodied unthinkably the egoless self, rapture of beatific energies, joined time to the timeless, poles of a single joy. White vasts were seen, where all is wrapped in all. There were no contraries, no sundered parts. All by spiritual links were joined to all and bound indissolubly to the one. Each was unique, but took all lives as his own. And following out these tones of the infinite, recognized in himself the universe, a splendid center of infinity's world, pushed to its zenith's height, its last expanse, felt the divinity of its own self-bliss, repeated in its numberless other selves. It took up tirelessly into its scope persons and figures of the impersonal, as if prolonging in a ceaseless count, in a rapturous multiplication sum, the recurring decimals of eternity. All struggle was turned to a sweet strife of love in the harmonized circle of a sure embrace. On a meeting line of hazardous extremes, the game of games was played to its breaking point, where through self-finding, by self-loss, there leaps out unity's supreme delight, whose blissful, undivided sweetness feels a communality of the absolute. All nature was a conscious front of God. In honor of Mother's birthday, the passage chosen from Savitri is from the canto, The Vision and the Boon, where King Ashwapati receives a blessing from the Divine Mother regarding the coming birth of his daughter, Savitri, a gift to divine mankind. O strong forerunner, I have heard thy cry. One shall descend and break the iron law, change nature's doom by the lone spirit's power, a limitless mind that can contain the world, a sweet and violent heart of ardent calms, moved by the passions of the gods, shall come. All mights and greatnesses shall join in her. Beauty shall walk celestial on the earth. Delight shall sleep in the cloud net of her hair, and in her body, as on his homing tree, immortal love shall beat his glorious wings. A music of griefless things shall weave her charm. The harps of the perfect shall attune her voice. The streams of heaven shall murmur in her laugh. Her lips shall be the honeycombs of God. Her limbs, his golden jaws of ecstasy. Her breasts, the rapture flowers of paradise. She shall bear wisdom in her voiceless bosom. Strength shall be with her like a conqueror's sword, and from her eyes the Eternal's bliss shall gaze. A seed shall be sown in death's tremendous hour, a branch of heaven transplant to human soil. Nature shall overleap her mortal step. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will.
Thank you, Jayashri. Namaste, everyone. 2024 marks a very special year, just as we heard from Radhe. We're celebrating not one, but 3 auspicious events: the Mother's birthday, the establishment of Auroville, and the supramental manifestation. These 3 movements of the Divine Mother has been an everlasting gift for all of humanity. She has given us this and much more. But do we truly know the Mother? On surface, we know her as Meera, the one who came to Pondicherry exclusively to co-collaborate with Sri Aurobindo, and was later entrusted with establishing the ashram and various departments. But do we truly know her in the deepest sense? How have we as devotees consecrated our work and lives exclusively to the Divine Mother, as she did in her manifestations on this earthly plane? How have we made our surrender to the divine more perfect and complete? We are humbled by the writings of Sri Aurobindo, who guides us towards the sunlit path and reveals to us with a small glimpse of her multifaceted, unending grace, beauty, and wisdom. He writes in the booklet, The Mother, the following. In all that is done in the universe, the divine through his Shakti is behind all action, but he is veiled by his Yoga Maya and works through the ego of the Jiva in the lower nature. In yoga, also it is the divine who is the sadhaka and the sadhana. It is his Shakti with her light, power, knowledge, consciousness, ananda, acting upon the adhara, and when it is open to her, pouring into it with these divine forces, that makes the sadhana possible. But so long as the lower nature is active, the personal effort of the sadhaka remains necessary. The personal effort required is a triple labor of aspiration, rejection, and surrender. An aspiration vigilant, constant, unceasing. The mind's will, the heart seeking, the ascent of the vital being, the will to open and make plastic the physical consciousness and nature. Rejection of the movements of the lower nature, rejection of the mind's ideas, opinions, preferences, habits, constructions, so that the true knowledge may find free room in a silent mind. Rejection of the vital nature's desires, demands, cravings, sensations, passions, selfishness, pride, arrogance, lust, greed, jealousy, envy, hostility to the truth, so that the true power and joy may pour from above into a calm, large, strong, and consecrated vital being. Rejection of the physical nature's stupidity, doubt, disbelief, obscurity, obstinacy, pettiness, laziness, unwillingness to change, tamas, so that the true stability of light, power, ananda may establish itself in a body growing always more divine. Surrender of oneself and all one is and has, and every plane of the consciousness and every movement to the divine and the Shakti. Holding this inspiration of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother in our hearts and consciousness, let us leverage this momentum towards progress, that we too can co-collaborate with our creatrix and step into the light. We have a beautiful film created by Vladimir that details the Mother's works, followed by an essay on the 12 qualities of the Mother by Geeta Shri. Thank you and namaste.
This is a sadhana which tries to bring down the spirit into matter. All fields of human activity are accepted, and the mother took care of the smallest details. From an unknown experiment in a corner of India, the ashram now grew into a great center of yoga, attracting devotees and disciples from all over the world. The descent of the supermind took place on February 29, 1956. A most decisive step in the yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother had been taken. The goal was certain. Now it was a question of time and of preparing the earth for the full manifestation of the supermind. There could be no more failure, no more falling back. In the meantime, the ashram continued to grow and expand under the Mother's guidance. With the number of devotees increasing all over the world, the Mother started the Sri Aurobindo Society in 1960. She was its executive president. In 1964, the Mother launched the project of Auroville, the city of human unity, named after Sri Aurobindo. It is a city for 50,000 inhabitants and is hailed by people from all over the world. In 1968, the foundation stone of Auroville was laid, and the Mother read out the charter herself.
Salut d'Auroville à tous les hommes de bonne volonté. Sont conviés à Auroville tous ceux qui ont soif de progrès et aspirent à une vie plus haute et plus vraie.
Who is the Mother? Sri Aurobindo has declared, "The one whom we adore as the Mother is the divine conscious force that dominates all existence. One, and yet so many-sided, that to follow her movement is impossible, even for the quickest mind and for the freest and most vast intelligence. The Mother is one, but manifests in the world through her many personalities. In the words of Sri Aurobindo, 4 great aspects of the Mother, 4 of her leading powers and personalities have stood in front in her guidance of this universe and in her dealings with the terrestrial play. One is her personality of calm wideness and comprehending wisdom and tranquil benignity and inexhaustible compassion and sovereign and surpassing majesty and all-ruling greatness. Another embodies her power of splendid strength and irresistible passion, her warrior mood, her overwhelming will, her impetuous swiftness and world-shaking force. A third is vivid and as sweet and wonderful, with her deep secret of beauty and harmony and fine rhythm. her intricate and subtle opulence, her compelling attraction and captivating grace. The fourth is equipped with her close and profound capacity of intimate knowledge, and careful flawless work, and quiet and exact perfection in all things. Wisdom, strength, harmony, perfection. To the four we give the four great names: Maheshwari, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati. To the disciples, Sri Aurobindo has said, "The Mother herself is the destination. Everything is in her. When you find her, you find all."
Namaste and welcome everybody. This is such a beautiful occasion. And today I'm going to talk to you about Mother's symbol and go through all the qualities as they flow into each other. As we celebrate another anniversary of the day of the supramental manifestation, let us take a step back and contemplate on the destiny of our human race. We can either choose the path of the inconscient or grow in our consciousness towards the sunlit path by incorporating the Mother's symbol into our lives, which are the soul qualities and the eternal dharma, as Sri Aurobindo states. Keeping Mother, the Mahashakti, the divine consciousness, always as the focal point in our sadhana and daily life, we invoke her four Mahashaktis to work through us. Maheshwari, with her calm wideness and wisdom in our thoughts, words, and actions. Mahakali, with her splendid strength to give us the courage to strive on. Mahalakshmi, to fill us with her beauty and harmony. And Mahasaraswati, for her perfection and profound capacity of knowledge. When the Mahashaktis are invoked, their 12 qualities blossom like a flower, guiding us on the circle of life. And these are sincerity, humility, gratitude, perseverance, aspiration, receptivity, progress, courage, goodness, generosity, and equality, peace. All these qualities blend and flow into each other with no walls and boundaries. And this then flows into our daily lives if we are open to them and conscious of their working in us. Mother says, the fundamental virtue to be cultivated for the spiritual life is sincerity. To never try to deceive oneself, as when the sincerity is total and absolute, it alone is your protection. Here, aspiration plays a very important part, because as we reject in all sincerity the lower movements of the vital and physical, we call to a higher force to diminish the lower desire and movements, or transform it, and only by deep aspiration can this happen. It is because something in us yearns for that purification. It is like that ray that brings the light where there was none. When the wisdom and knowledge comes to us, there is a total surrender, self-offering, and great humility. The path of surrender is safe and sure, as without this decision, nothing is possible. Everything else comes naturally after it. For the whole process with surrender, a spontaneous self-giving of all ourselves to the divine, to a greater consciousness of which we are a part. And this self-offering, when done with true humility before the divine, which is precise, exact, a living sense that one is nothing, can do nothing, understand nothing without the divine, then one has the attitude of true receptivity, a humble receptivity, and yet one so powerful as then the total transparency appears, as there is nothing to conceal. One is totally open, absolutely modest, with no judgment. Then only can the union with the divine consciousness happen. For this, courage and the flame of perseverance are needed. How many trials and tribulations are needed in life for one to know to the very depths that one can do nothing without divine intervention? We pray for strength and courage to go through it, never discouraged. True courage, in its deepest sense, is to face everything in life, from the smallest to the greatest, always with a constant consciousness of the divine presence, with a total self-giving to the divine. Then we can move forward in life. Remain in an indrawn state of consciousness and have patience and endure. It is this effort which makes us receptive to that universal force and will find us joy and peace. And where there is peace, her harmony and presence is always felt. Deep gratitude comes when grace answers your call. In trouble and difficulties, solutions and prayers, the heart is full for the divine, and faith becomes a force to reckon with. It is this divine grace that makes progress possible, and deep gratitude is offered to that divine force. When we identify with those higher forces, peace and harmony always prevail. Goodness and generosity come with human nature. When one has goodwill for others and is generous from the heart, not only materially, but emotionally and spiritually as well, then equality or equanimity steps in. The power to remain unmoved within in all conditions. It is the quality of the soul, the one divine everywhere, seeing that one in spite of all differences. It is the power to bear all happenings, good or bad, discouraged or upset, joyous or sad. Whatever happens, to remain serene and peaceful, as you know the infinite divine is behind all her play. Then the shift happens. when we start accepting whatever is the result, recognizing that one did the best according to one's capacity and will, and offers it to the divine, irrespective of the output, we will see more perfection emerge both in the outer work and inner state. And from there, we'll once again start the cycle of the 12 qualities. And each step will become easier and easier till finally we can be in union with that divine consciousness, the Divine Mother. The Matri Mandir, built by the Mother in Auroville, the city of dawn, is built on the same lines as her symbol. And with this, I shall hand it over to Vladimir to continue. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Gita Shri, so much. Such a beautiful essay on all the qualities which are emerging from our inner being and representing the four powers of the Mother. And the whole center in Auroville was built in this way to receive and to transmit the supramental energy on earth. So there is a short film about Matri Mandir which shows this center, meditation center with 12 petals around, 12 chambers for meditation. Each represents one of these divine qualities we have to acquire. And this center, lotus, is the center of the future manifestation of supramental force on earth. So in 5 minutes we will watch this beautiful film.
परमे
So you saw the center of Auroville, Matri Mandir, which is the symbolic representation of all the qualities, psychological qualities we have to acquire in our life, individually and collectively. There are 12 chambers around the major chamber. The major chamber has the crystal inside, which takes the ray of light from the top. There is no other light. Only one ray of light comes down to the crystal. This is the biggest crystal grown by man. 360 kgs. They were growing it several years. They were cooling it down for half a year that it should not crack. It's a special technology in Germany which was employed to do this work. And according to the mother's vision, this crystal had to be suspended in the air, but we do not have yet technology that it will hang in the air, so they put it on Sri Aurobindo's symbol made of gold. And through this crystal, the ray of light from the sun, and on the top of the Matri Mandir there is a special device which catches the light of the sun and directs inside, goes through the whole building, through the whole globe, to the lower, to the bottom of Matri Mandir. And at the bottom you have 1,000 petal lotus, pure and white, with the crystal at the bottom, which is lighted up by that ray of light which goes through the whole system. And the waters which are going through Matri Mandir, the divine waters, are flowing down to this 1,000-petal white lotus, and you can see the water and the light coming from above. Matri Mandir became a symbol of Auroville. Auroville, the city of dawn. The first structure was made, it is that amphitheater where we are gathering for every New Year, for every Sri Aurobindo and Mother's birthday. And by the way, this week we consider to be our sacred week, from 21st of February, Mother's birthday, to 28th of February, Auroville's birthday. Usually during this week, all the major programs are taking place in Auroville. All people from all over the world coming to this week to meet and to discuss and to exchange their views and ideas and ideals for the future. And on 29th of February, once in 4 years, we have the supramental descent. So you can imagine how important this week is, yes, with edition of 29th of February, which is so rare. No wonder that supramental manifestation took place on this day, on 29th of February, so it's so difficult to realize. I lived in Oroville, and I'm very privileged to carry that spirit of that place. Everyone who comes to Oroville feels the spirit. Whoever he is, whatever religion he belongs, or he is an atheist, doesn't matter. He just comes to that atmosphere and he feels the presence of the Mother. It's a magical place. I hope we will deserve this place in the future. So with this kind of sharing with you on Matre Mandir and Auroville, I would like to continue our journey and come to the last portion of our presentation with Radhe, who will speak on this magical day of supramental manifestation. Radhe, back to you.
Thank you, Vladimir, and thank you for taking us through that beautiful image of the Matra Mandir. It was as if we were going down from the top to the bottom with you. So I know in your 27 years you must have been at the Matra Mandir many, many, many times. And yes, you're very, very, very blessed. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And as Vladimir mentioned, we now want to turn a little bit more and focus on the supramental descent, the descent of the supramental consciousness, which Sri Aurobindo and the Mother really devoted their whole lives to. It's a hallmark of their personal and collective yoga. On an individual basis, they had reached the supramental consciousness and had established it within themselves. But their work was far from over. For soon they turned their attention to the descent of the supramental consciousness on a collective level. Such a descent would mean the perfect union of matter and spirit, and earth as a divine manifestation. This is the grand evolutionary vision they held for humanity, and it's the ultimate aim of integral yoga. Sri Aurobindo and the Mother laid out the pathway towards this grand vision. It is the yoga of triple transformation: psychic, spiritual, and supramental. The first step is psychic transformation, which is the awakening to the presence of our soul, that unique expression of the divine within each of us that serves as an inner guide and helps to navigate our spiritual journey. It's that part of us that strives for truth, for beauty, and goodness. Though each of our souls are unique, its verities is represented by the 12 outer petals of the Mother's symbol and mentioned by both Gita Sri and Vladimir. They're universal principles. Some or all are mentioned in most spiritual paths. But in integral yoga, these 12 verities hold very particular importance as soul qualities that have the power to transform and harmonize our outer being. Psychic transformation means bringing these soul qualities into our everyday life. It is the awakening of the soul and its stepping forward to govern the outer mind, vital, and physical, turning all to the divine. Physical transformation is Mother's yoga that she brought to Pondicherry. In fact, from a very early age, the Mother was intimately aware of her soul. The second step in the triple transformation is spiritual transformation. And this is the descent of light and peace and power into the body, and subsequent ascension of our ordinary mental consciousness to higher cognitive ranges, such as the higher and illumined mind, and even the much vaster worlds of intuition and overmind. These higher realms are illumined with spiritual light and power, and they open us up to the realization of the cosmic or eternal self. Sri Aurobindo forged the pathway to these higher ranges of consciousness. It was the central focus of his yoga before the Mother arrived in Pondicherry. But with the arrival of the Mother, their spiritual paths merged. The inward turn towards the psychic transformation, supported by the descent of higher levels of consciousness. And this final step in the yoga of triple transformation is supramental transformation. And here there's a redefinition of the very substance of our consciousness and physicality, resulting in the transformation of our entire being. All aspects of division and ignorance of consciousness that the vital and mental levels are overcome and replaced with the consciousness of unity. And even the physical body is transformed and divinized. Each stage of the yoga of triple transformation, psychic, spiritual, and supramental, builds upon the previous, with psychic transformation serving as the essential groundwork for the spiritual and supramental changes. Together, they form a comprehensive path of evolution that leads to an existence where the divine is not just an abstract concept, but a lived reality, fully integrated into every aspect of our being and our life. The supramental transformation is the combined yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Sri Aurobindo, the Supreme, the Mother, the Divine Mahashakti, descend as avatars to bring down the supramental consciousness and assist in the birth of a new creation. Never before has two avatars descended together. Never before has humanity been on the brink of a giant leap in evolution. It took two avatars, Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, to make possible such a leap. February 29th, 1956, will be remembered as one of the most important dates in the history of mankind, the golden day of the supramental manifestation. Thank you. And we are very fortunate today to be able to share with you a 20-minute video that Shraddhalu recorded very specifically for our Darshan today and the community coming together. And in this video, Shraddhalu will explain the nature and the importance of the supramental consciousness and the relevance of this year's 14th anniversary.
Namaste. This year, 2024, we are observing the 17th anniversary of the golden day of the supramental manifestation, which happens once every 4 years. This will be the 17th anniversary ever since the manifestation took place on 29th February 1956. Three questions are relevant to understand the importance of this anniversary. First, what is the supermind? Second, what happened on 29th February 1956? And third, what is the relevance of this 17th anniversary that is due to take place in a few days? First, to understand what is the supramental consciousness. Sri Aurobindo defines it in very clear terms, but also in many ways. It is the consciousness which bridges the worlds of oneness of the Satchidananda above, the triple upper hemisphere of creation, and the triple lower hemisphere of creation, of multiplicity, of division, of mind, life, matter. Supermind is the in-between linking principle. It knows oneness, it knows multiplicity, because it is the origin of this multiplicity. It is the power by which the divine manifests. This is one way to understand this. Another way to understand this is to think of it as the power of cognition by which the divine knows itself. We, living in a consciousness of an intellect, of the reasoning mind, have a very limited, shallow, divided, narrow, darkened power of cognition, which is the nature of the intelligence of the intellect. When this consciousness opens up to its own higher processes and means, when it transcends and exceeds and opens to a higher way of knowing, which is a direct vision, When it goes beyond that to the most intimate way of knowing, which we would call the intuition, and when from there it opens out to its infinity, eternity, totality, that would be the true nature of the supramental way of knowing. Or in other words, the way the divine consciousness knows itself is beyond our reasoning power. It belongs to a consciousness properly that is infinite and eternal and one and indivisible, and yet able to multiply itself unendingly, blissfully, powerfully. But this is also the origin of the entire cosmos, the entire creation, origin also of our consciousness of mind, and therefore our mind finds its origins in this, therefore supramental. And all powers of the mind are as if reflected, diluted, limited operations of powers inherent to the supramental consciousness. This being the case, in principle it is possible for us as if to open to that, to rise to that in a continuity of steps, which is then our inevitable next step in human evolution. Sri Aurobindo came not only to announce this, but to realize this in himself and to imprint that realization and into all of humanity, and to bring down that supramental consciousness as an active power operative in current human evolution. This is what we have to understand and is a critical element of the next question. But we must understand this fully because the next step of human evolution depends on this. So this brings us to the next question: what exactly happened on 29th February 1956? It was the work that Sri Aurobindo and the mother had been doing, first of all in themselves, in their own consciousness. They had reached the supramental consciousness, established it within themselves level by level, top down, all the way to the subtle physical substance of the body. On each of these planes, the supramental was operative as a direct action, and the substance itself was transformed into a supramental in terms of a supramental consciousness. And yet this was limited to their individual realization. Their work was to manifest this at a collective level in humanity. If it was left to them, Sri Aurobindo says, they would have finished this long ago, if it was just for their bodies. But since it was for humanity, they had to as if plug into the human consciousness, and every step that they took of bringing that down and transforming was imprinted as a memory, as a potential, as a capacity, as an inevitability at every level of the corresponding consciousness in the human being, in humanity as a whole. This is an extraordinary achievement. It's an extraordinary gift for humanity. It also means they had to struggle that much more, because at every moment facing the full resistance of the human consciousness, which is only so much willing to accept, so much willing to open to this, and yet bringing it down all the way to the subtle physical consciousness. That part, beyond that, to bring it into the physical consciousness as an active force, even in the material life, and even for the transformation of the physical body. Because of certain technical details we need not go into, Sri Aurobindo found it necessary to leave his body and form a bridge from above and the mother connecting from below. And so it was after his leaving the body in 1956, on the 29th of February, that this was done. The supramental consciousness was brought down into the collective human consciousness, all the way down to the material level, as an active force in human evolution. The mother was very specific about it. She said it was the supramental consciousness and force, but not its aspect of power. She said if the power aspect had come in, it would be obvious. Nevertheless, this having come, the next step in human evolution, the organization of the supramental consciousness and force and light into the human being and its transformation in its terms is inevitable and only a question of time. But that may take any number of years, which is not our concern. What is important is, because this is now an active force in human evolution, it is constantly influencing everything that happens. And because it's a consciousness of oneness, it embraces everything that happens. All forces, all powers. There's nothing that opposes it. Anything that comes to oppose it is already included in its totality and therefore is used as an aid for its higher fulfillment. So it is the one consciousness which can harmonize all things, all contraries, unify them all, overcome all opposition. And even though it is not directly active in the human affairs, indirectly still, because we are not ready to open to it yet, so it operates through two levels of self-limitation and veiling, so to say. Still, the fact that it is operative ensures that this harmonization takes place inevitably, and as a consequence, the mother said there will be no more Third World War, which was always so dangerous. You will find in current affairs constantly the tendency as if a Third World War might be imminent, and yet it's always avoided because of this active working, although indirect, of the supramental consciousness. When asked what is it doing, the mother simply said it is hastening the human evolution in the way that it can move forward in the most rapid and least destructive way. So the net result of this work done, of manifesting it in 1956, is that despite human ill will, stupidity, obstinacy, resistance, its action is guiding towards a greater safety, accelerating as much as possible to the extent we consent to participate. And therefore, its full active emergence in human affairs as a power is inevitable. It's only a question of time. The working of the supramental is on so many levels at the same time, and particularly in the higher part of humanity, those who are aspiring, those who are open, its action can be relatively more direct, always within the context of your capacity to open and receive to a consciousness which is infinite. So it is often through an intuition that its action is more directly felt, but that's already one step of indirection. So this is active everywhere, and in those of us who choose to open ourselves to it, its action can be more direct relatively. Which brings us to the third question: what is the significance of this, the 17th anniversary? It is interesting that the manifestation chose the one day in the year which repeats once in 4 years. Isn't it interesting? It could have happened just one day before or one day after. Date-wise, after all, these are just human conventions. It would have happened every year. But it picked the day which, according to human convention, comes once every 4 years. You could perhaps see in it some kind of humor, but I see in it profound symbolism. And the symbolism is this 4-step. If we look at something which Sri Aurobindo writes in the little book, The Mother, he writes this, and I read. After speaking of the 4 aspects, 4 powers of the Divine Mother, only when the 4 have founded their harmony and freedom of movement in the transformed mind and life and body, can those other rarer powers manifest in the earth movement and the supramental action become possible. For when her personalities are all gathered in her and manifested, and their separate working has been turned into a harmonious unity, and they rise in her to their supramental Godheads, then is the Mother revealed as the supramental Mahashakti and brings pouring down her luminous transcendences from their ineffable ether. Then can human nature change into dynamic divine nature, because all the elemental lines of the supramental truth consciousness and truth force are strung together, and the harp of life is fitted for the rhythms of the eternal. It's a profound passage, deeply symbolic of truths which we struggle to fully comprehend. But one thing is obvious: these four powers of the Divine Mother need to be, so to say, harmonized, unified, and risen to their highest station. Then we know the supramental Mahashakti. We know the Divine Mother as supramental Mahashakti. Four powers, 4 years. I see the symbolism in that as if each year representing one of the powers being assiduously built up, either in a descending movement or in an ascending movement. And at the completion of the 4 steps and their unification comes the emergence of this revelation of the Mother as the supramental Mahashakti every 4 years. Interestingly, in the human convention, it's in 100 years, it is not 25 times that the 29th occurs. Because of the convention and calculation astronomically, the 100th year does not have a leap year. So we actually have 24 anniversaries every century of this golden day, just as an aside. But coming back to the point of this occasion, every anniversary in the human convention of dates is a symbolic realignment of the material circumstances with whatever that thing was, in this case a supramental event. Alignment of the highest source of the supramental consciousness with its manifestation in the material physical earth, the linking of these two, so to say. The anniversary of this event is on a symbolic level a realignment, a repetition, a resonance, an echo, so to say, in consciousness terms, a power of the event resonating, echoing, rippling through time. And the fact that our convention gives to it this importance gives it a certain power and an effect and an influence in human affairs, on the human consciousness collectively, because what was brought down was for the collective humanity. Therefore, this is extremely important. Or to the extent that we choose to recognize it, it can become for us extremely important. Symbolic, but a symbolism is not a fantasy, it is a reality, and therefore a real effect. In principle, by an act of conscious turning, we can align to anything at any point, on any day. But the fact that the collective human consciousness has this shared calendar and gives to it this meaning and this value, gives to the event a collective value at the level of humanity. Although individually you can have anything on any day. And so is, here we find the special importance of this occasion. It is as if, while we could align any day at any time, here it is nature and the collective human consciousness of humanity choosing to give this value and this alignment on this day. We can take advantage of this opportunity, because without our special effort, something aligns. Some resonance, some rhythm, some wave, some power of this event as if repeating, striking in an echo, but still real. How do we take advantage of this opportunity? First, by becoming conscious of it. You could, of course, be fully unconscious, ignore, and still receive a glimmer of its influence. But when you're conscious, you receive so much more and more directly. Second step, after becoming conscious, opening consciously. Because you can be closed, the water will wash over you. As Mother observed, it happened in 1956. She expected everyone to be flat from the power of the descent. People were getting up as if somnambulists, rolling up their mats and walking away, as if nothing had happened. Closed. So, opening becomes the second thing. Third, giving ourselves. It's not enough to open. You must actively give yourself to be shaped. You could open and stay rigid. No, you have to be plastic to the touch of the supramental consciousness, to the touch of the infinite, as Sri Aurobindo writes. Fourth, When you give yourself, you then receive all that pours down into you as in a jar. And fifth, containing it, not spilling it, assimilating what is contained. So this is the fivefold nature of our effort: becoming conscious, opening to it, giving ourselves, receiving whatever pours down, and containing and assimilating without spilling. So this would be the effort that we can make, and it is an opportunity that we can take advantage of in this way. If this is possible to us individually, it is even more possible to us collectively, because as a power it was brought down for collective humanity. If all humanity could turn up, what an occasion it would be in terms of receptivity. But at least the part of humanity that is conscious, that values this, can make a difference for ourselves and through us in others. And so the fact that so many people assemble or think about and align to individually is helpful, but we could also collectively go through the same process of a collective consciousness and opening, giving of ourselves, receiving, containing and assimilating. And if we make that effort as a collective, it would have a massive collective impact and act as an active force in our collective harmonization and in a collective action of its working in humanity. Therefore, although the date is not critical from a purely consciousness perspective, because of the natural resonance and the collective shared calendar, it can become extremely beneficial on a collective level if we choose to receive as a collective humanity or a part of collective humanity. This then is the sense of the importance of this day, and those of us who feel called to it should make the necessary effort, both individually and collectively. Collectively conceiving of yourself and all others as equally children of the Divine Mother, and together as children of the Mother, we open to her. And in the rhythm of the 4 years that have passed to bring us to this, we may conceive of this as the unification of the 4 powers of the Mother, and therefore the Mother as the supramental Mahashakti presiding over all creation, from whom we receive her supramental knowledge, power, harmony, perfection, love, beauty, ananda, and all else that she chooses to pour down into us. Let this be our aspiration and our effort on this occasion, and perhaps on every such occasion that occurs in the coming years and decades. Namaste.
We're very grateful for that video from Shudalu. You know, supramental descent, what the supramental is, how it acts, what the advantage or benefits are. It's not that easy to understand all the time. And yet Shudalu always finds a way, no matter what the topic is, to be able to put it in terms and with analogies that we can all understand. So we're very thankful for Shudalu taking the time to make that video. So we do have some time available here, 10 or 15 minutes, and we would very much like to open this up for sharing, making an offering. If any of you would like to offer prayer or perhaps a favorite quote or some personal commentary, we would love to have you share with the group. We would ask that you keep that offering to just a minute or two in case others would also like to share. And I think the best way to do this, we have a number of people here, but maybe the best way to do this is that if you are interested in sharing, just put your name or just say yes in the chat box, and we'll mention your name and at that time ask you to unmute. I have asked our dear friend Dolores if she would kindly lead in the first offering in this session. So Dolores, I'd like to go ahead and have you just open your mic and make your offering, please. And so nice to see you.
Namaste. Very nice to see you all, and happy birthday to all. My offering today is for all of us to be conscious about this auspicious and marvelous triple event, for all of us to give ourselves consciously and to receive and apply every single moment, every single instant, ardently, sincerely, all that we are. And when we do that, and we became this plastic, unbelievably wide jar to receive, contained all, not spilling anything, and to, in every single moment, aspire just to fulfill their will directly through us, in us, integrally, directly. And we do that, and we offer ourselves sincerely. We're going to receive that, because that's their happiness. This is their law. And we're going to be allowing that divine transformation in us. And I'm just so grateful to know you all. And I'm just so happy that we all can be here together. So many people gathering, celebrating this. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Dolores. Very, very beautiful. And as you were speaking, I was thinking, wow, you were just over in Auroville with Shridaluji and in meditation. And as I look around, there's another 5 or 6 community members that were also over there. So I'm sure you had an absolutely wonderful time. And thank you for opening this offering period. And if anyone else would like to say a few words or make an offering, just again in the chat, just say yes, and we'll ask you to open your mic.
Sandeep, please go ahead.
Hello everyone, Bande Mataram, Namaste to all. I'll not take much
Will you show
time.
yourself, please?
You want me to comment video?
Yes, it would be nice to see your face.
Ah, there he is.
Thanks everyone. Yeah, this is a wonderful moment, and my heartfelt gratitude to the mother and everyone here. One message and one message which really it compels me to every time know where I am and just like to do that. The thing is, mother is asking us, for everyone, that the world is going for a big change, and will you help? So let us collaborate. Collaboration is the need of the hour now. Wherever we are, however we can, let's pray to the mother. Inwardly, we can collaborate through goodwill and love and prayer, definitely. But outwardly also, let us reach out to each one of us. Let us reach out to, whether Radhe or Vladimir sir, anyone. So wherever we are, let us collaborate in the big change that is happening, and we can be a part of this mother's work together. And definitely we can. This would be a right tribute to the mother, and we can collaborate in her work as well. That's what I have to say. Long way to go. We all together we will go, and we will definitely, can do this. Thank you, everyone. Gratitude to the Divine Mother.
Thank you, Sandeep. I see Anna would also like to make an offering. I don't know if I see her up here on my screen, Anna, but if you could just open your mic and your video, that would be lovely.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I see you.
I would like to say some words in French. I'm French. I'm in France. I feel that. Merci d'avoir organisé cette soirée magnifique, ce moment. Et c'est le souhait et la conviction que l'amour, que le supramental descend sur toute l'humanité dans ce monde.
Do we get a translation in English, Anna?
Oh, I
We're
said,
close.
if I remember what I said, I said thanks for people who organized this meeting, this beautiful meeting with the videos and wow, nice to
Thank
meet
you,
you.
Dan.
And then I said that I hope and I am sure that the love of the Divine Mother of the supramental comes all over the world for humanity.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Anna, so much. And if there is anyone else, I know that Vic was going to come on, but he's got child duty. I think he is Sailaja's husband. So if don't think he's going to be in on time.
We see also Martha and Robert. Would you like to say a few words? It would be lovely. Robert was from the beginning, and Martha also in Auroville. Robert was building Matrimandir actually from the very beginning.
And then that would be lovely. And then I see Vikram, so then we'll turn to Vikram after Martha and Robert.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this gathering to honor these special occasions. And Robert's getting Savitri, and he'll read some passage. Thank you.
Keep talking.
Oh, he needs to look for the passage he has in mind. But I think all of Savitri is beautiful, and we're so grateful for that book and the epic poem, and it's really wonderful that we can read it in English and that Sri Aurobindo had an English education so he could share his writings with all of us. Thank you.
I just want to thank you all for this beautiful occasion and celebration of these wonderful days. I feel so privileged to have actually met the mother and also worked on the Matrimandir in Auroville and absorbed that atmosphere and that presence, which has stayed with me and probably increased over the years. I have learned a passage from Savitri by heart. I just can't find it now. But if you indulge me, I would like to recite it because for me it brings the sweetness of the mother very close and also her wonderful power and the gifts she gave to us and what she stood for. So I will try to remember it now. Near to earth's wideness, intimate with heaven, exalted and swift, a young, large vision spirit, voyaging through worlds of splendor and of calm, overflew the ways of thought to unborn things. Ardent was her self-poised, unstumbling will, a mind, a sea of white sincerity, passionate in flow, had not one turbid wave. As in a mystic and dynamic dance, a priestess of immaculate ecstasies, inspired and ruled from truth's revealing vault, moved in some prophet cavern of the gods, a heart of silence in the hands of joy, inhabited with rich creative beats, embodied like a parable of dawn. Near to earth's wideness, intimate with heaven. Oh, I'm sorry, I've done that already. With dawn. Her look, her smile, awoke celestial sense, even in earth stuff, and her intense delight poured a supernal beauty on men's lives. Her wide self-giving was her native act, a magnanimity of sea or sky, enveloped with its greatness all that came, and gave a sense as of a greatened world. Her kindly care was a sweet, temperate sun, a high passion, a blue heaven's equipoise. As might a soul fly like a hunted bird, escaping with tired wings from a world of storms, and a quiet reach like a remembered breast, in a haven of safety and splendid soft repose, one could drink life back in streams of honey fire, recover the lost habit of happiness, feel her bright nature's glorious ambience, and bring joy in her warmth and colors rule. A deep of compassion, a hushed sanctuary, her inward help unbarred a gate in heaven. Love in her was wider than the universe. The whole world could take refuge in her single heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert, so much. I don't think there is a better way of bringing to close this darshan today than that passage that you've just read us from Savitri. So thank you again so much. Thank you everyone for joining. We do hope you'll stay another couple minutes. We'd like to close with a group meditation. But we thank you all again, and happy darshans coming up this week also. So we'll now go into just a short meditation.
ॐ तत्सवितुर्भरमरूपं ज्योतिः परस्य धीमहि यन्नः सत्येन दीपये सत्येन दीपये ॐ तत्सवितुर्भरमरूपं ज्योतिः परस्य धीमहि यन्नः सत्येन दीपये सत्येन दीपये
Vara
Namaste, all. And once again, thank you for coming, and look forward to us all coming to get back together again soon. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.